Hello, it is Sunday, September 5th, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Sunday puzzle, so I'm settling in with a full cup of coffee, ready for the longest puzzle of the week. But first, much like yesterday, there are a number of comments that I wanted to read that deal with some context from the previous crossword, the Saturday crossword. I'm not going to read all of them because a number of them covered similar topics, but I will just read a sampling of some of these. Regarding the clue dealing with where some high schoolers get DNA tests, which was AP Bio, Advanced Placement Biology, Nathaniel Leung says, when I took AP Biology many years ago, we had a class lab activity where we used PCR, polymerase chain reaction, to isolate a specific gene in our DNA. Another common lab activity is to use PCR to isolate DNA from strawberries. The result is a glob of DNA that looks a bit like mucus. PCR is one of the techniques currently being used to test people for COVID-19. It uses enzymes to search for and duplicate a specific sequence of DNA, or RNA in this case, of the virus. So yeah, that's fascinating. And indeed, I think we probably all recognize PCR. Well, I certainly did recognize PCR as one of the COVID tests I've taken a few times now for various purposes. And regarding the distinctions between catapults, trebuchets, and ballistas, IRT3H Saint points out that a trebuchet uses a counterweight to throw the projectile, catapults use a spring sort of mechanism, and a ballista is basically a very large crossbow. And I was confused a bit about yesterday's use of ballista in the puzzle because my interpretation of a ballista, my memory was that they are essentially crossbows. They fire bolts, and a couple other people in the comments had a similar reaction, but it turns out it can fire stone-like stones or similar projectiles as well. So that was new to me. A number of people pointed out that there was probably an error with the clue related to anodes. Matt Land says, as clued, the answer should be cathode, and for anode, the clue should be electron repellers. This is likely due to the confusion of conventional current flow being the reverse of electron flow. Goes into a great deal of detail. There are quite a few comments about everything dealing with anodes and cathodes and what I now know to be called anions and cations because, let's see here. Hugh Crank says, Chris, please read. Anion is not pronounced like onion, as I pronounced it, anion. It's pronounced anion. Additionally, cation, which I pronounced cation, is not pronounced like vacation. It is simply cation, like the animal. Thanks, love the series. And then Birdchem said, amen to that. As a chemistry teacher, I was going to post the same. And Hugh Crank very graciously followed up, there's no shame in pronouncing words incorrectly, especially science terms. It usually just means you learned them from reading rather than a school lecture. So thank you for that. Thank you for that excuse there. Michelle Nguyen says, I was really excited to see Tet as a clue. This dealt with sweeping and not sweeping during the holiday. So Michelle says, you're supposed to thoroughly clean your house before the holiday and then not clean during the first few days. The superstition is that you sweep out all the good luck for the year if you do. My other favorite superstitions are that the first person outside of your family to visit your home during Tet determines your luck for the year. And you're not supposed to eat certain bad luck foods like shrimp, since they swim backwards, and bitter melon, because it sounds like the word suffering in Vietnamese. So that's very interesting. Johnny Driggs got the Florida city of Hialeah immediately from a verbosely titled Supreme Court case, Church of the Lukumi Babalu I versus City of Hialeah, which ultimately found that the city could not outlaw animal sacrifices practiced by this church based on freedom of religious considerations. So, and finally, Any Prophet points out, a hacienda is a large estate, which is one meaning of the word spread, a big old spread of land. I don't think it's used that much anymore. So yeah, I mean, I understood that hacienda is a large property, but I wasn't familiar with spread referring to a particular large property. I think of it as being, as I said yesterday, sort of an urban or suburban spread, collective property. So that was an oversight on my part. And finally, Tactful confirms that 40 does indeed refer to 40 ounces of malt liquor bottles, which was my guess, but I wasn't sure because it seemed like a lot of ounces. And also that allo instead of hola. The reason I was confused about that is because allo is the informal greeting often used on the phone, which is actually the same in French. So, all right, boy, that was a lot. I hope you're still with me. Let's move on to Sunday's large puzzle by Grant Thackeray, edited as always by Will Shorts. This puzzle, like all Sunday puzzles we know now, is titled, and this one is named Go Up in Smoke. So that presumably refers to the theme, and I'm excited to see how. Let's get going. Ready to get started. Impersonate. Could be mimic, perhaps. Sounds at a sauna. Could be Oz, AHS. I'm going to put that in for now. And C. A limit, 2 down, could be a cap. 2020 EG. Well, it's a way of describing, I think, very good vision, but you see what, something 20 at 20 somethings, I don't remember what it is, but it could also be odds or a score in a game. I'm not sure which of those fits into 3 letters though. So here we go back to impersonate, and we have act as. Now let's look at this cross on 20 across, home of the Isle of Tortuga. Not sure. Oh, I see, 2020, it is a score, it is a tie. Oh, so a Haiti, presumably here. Let's see. Hit TV show created by Donald Glover, Atlanta, I know that. And then something close to a colonel's heart. I'm not sure. Would it be some sort of service campaign patch or medal or something? Oh, no, it's not. It's a silent L, in the sense that it's close to the heart of the word colonel, I suppose, the heart of the word being the central letter O, and the L being adjacent to it. So look at that, a little bit of misdirection there. So here we have a charming sort, could be a spellcaster. Certainly wouldn't have gotten that without any crosses, but with spell, seems pretty straightforward, so hopefully that's correct. Blank Lingus, this has come up on the puzzle recently. Aer Lingus, the flag carrier of Ireland, air carrier, airline. John of 2.5 Men, have not a clue about that one. Let's jump up here. Today competitor for short. Oh, this would be a morning show. I think this is a morning show in the United States. Good Morning America, GMA. Ah, and here we have a dash clue, which usually, but not always, indicates a theme answer, and we will have to learn what goes into this series of cells some other way. But it could also be, I mean, sometimes that's a misdirection and it actually is just dash or something like that. Although I see already there are a few other dash answers, so presumably they are part of the theme. Let's keep going. Those against are not the pros, they're the antis. Antis. Come back again, again, again. 9 down. I'm not sure. Echoed? No. Harp-shaped constellation. Oh, Lyra? Bump on a log. Not sure. Blank often costs too much. Emerson. Money. Money presumably often costs too much. Isn't that true? Come back again, again, again. Re-echo, I suppose? There's sort of that again is sort of linguistically mimicking an echo, and then the again, I suppose, adds the re-echo. Yeah, I suppose that's fair enough. Lucy's last name on I Love Lucy. Oh, Ricardo, right? Because her husband was Ricky Ricardo. So we've got, oh, and I suppose a bump on a log is a gnarl, G-N-A-R-L. So we've got some letters in this theme answer, 7 down, N-O-S-R. I wonder if it could be something spelled backwards, because going N-O-S-R doesn't really look like it could mean something. Actually, and backwards, if we put an A there, it would be arson. And the name of this puzzle is entitled Go Up in Smoke. which is what happens when something is subjected to arson. It goes up in smoke. So perhaps that is part of the theme. Here we have 30-year host of late night TV. This looks like Johnny Cash, who is not, I mean, he was a singer. Oh, look at this though. If you follow Johnny Cash and then go up that arson, you get Johnny Carson. And then here you get Ash. So essentially this clue, which may not be part of this clue, this answer may not relate to the theme at all. Johnny Carson or may actually not have anything to do with Go Up in Smoke, but it branches at this point, and then we get two different words, ash and arson, that both relate to going up in smoke. So look at that, very clever construction. John of Two Enough Men, don't know. LL Bean competitor, not sure, let's keep going. Plant family that jasmine and lilac are part of. Safe space, a haven, I suppose. I think safe havens or something like that came up yesterday, and the answer was a silo. I always wonder if it's intentional when you get those little echoes from day to day. And because they all share the same editor, Will Shortz, I sort of assume that is intentional. I always enjoy it. Commotion. A clatter, perhaps? Maybe. Let's look. I'm not very confident about that. Let's check the crosses here. Announcement maker of yore. Oh, could be a crier, as in a town crier. Is that Y-E-R or I-E-R? Let's look here and see. Some team competitions. Plant family that jasmine and lilac are part of. I'm not sure. Gangsta Lovin' Rapper 2002. Not sure about that either. Sold for, could be went for. Oh, so I guess LL Bean competitor J. Crew, that sounds right. And then what is this? Some team competitions, rivalries, I suppose. So crier, i.e. rivalries. And then here could this be Olive? Could the Gangster Lovin' rapper be Eve? I hope so. Maybe I'll leave that for the time being. Sometimes when I have to take guesses like that, I just leave them so that it's the last thing I put into the puzzle. Yoga class instruction. Ease up, ease in, maybe. They used to be a thing. Quotation. They used to be a thing. Oh, exes, perhaps. As in two people used to be a thing but are no longer. Floor coverings that feel good on the feet. Shag carpets, shag rugs, maybe? Not completely confident, but that seems plausible. Oh, yoga class instruction is exhale. I see. I was on the wrong track entirely. So here we have towards the back. Towards the back. Oh, a rear. Is that nautical at all? Or is that just sort of slightly old-timey? I think maybe that. Detective Lupin, this is the French master thief that got turned into a Japanese cartoon, and then now I think a live-action Netflix series, maybe? I haven't actually seen it, but I believe it's Arsène Lupin, I believe, is this character. So here we have a boring tool. Boring tool. What would you use to... I assume this means to bore holes or something, as opposed to a tool that is not very exciting or interesting. Probably ends in an R. And then what would this be? Advocate for the better treatment of elves in Harry Potter. I wonder if this is something that is specific to Harry Potter, or if it means in a general sense, the sort of advocacy for the better treatment of a protected class. If it's specific to Harry Potter, I'm not going to know it, unfortunately. So let's keep looking around here. French article is probably une, which is the singular feminine indefinite article. Addiction treatment locale. Rest. Rehabs. I don't know why you'd have that be plural, though. Not sure. Let's jump around a bit. Blank Manila, Muppet. I don't know. I don't think I know this Muppet name. What do we have here? Got ready to ride with up. Ride a horse, perhaps? Not sure. Vacuum tube type. I don't know. I was going to say a cathode, but that doesn't fit. I was hoping for some recurrence after all of that education about all these different things I got yesterday. I'm not sure. High follower could be high def or high res. That comes up sometimes. Then high definition or high resolution, referring to a television or computer monitor. Rack up as charges could be accrue. No, it couldn't be. It doesn't fit. Boy, I'm kind of running out of steam here, aren't I? After a really strong start. Televangelist Joel, not sure. The E in Genoa. The E in Genoa. What is that getting at? I don't know. Boy, what is going on here? All right. Surprise ending. Tadaz, maybe? Again, don't know why that would need to be plural. Jazz guitarist Montgomery. Oh, Wes Montgomery, I think. Sparkling wine variety. Oh, Asti, maybe? This might be I think this is a place in which a certain variety of grapes is grown, but I'm not 100% sure. But a surprise ending could be a twist. That looks quite plausible and sensible. Oh, here we've got another dash. So there's something somewhere that's going to be, perhaps this basketball box score column is going to take a turn down there. Could be. Not sure if I'm ready to tackle a basketball box score column just yet. Something to file. Not sure. Addiction treatment locale, right? Yeah, I didn't know what that was. And then the advocacy for elves. Let's see here. Let's just keep, I guess we never even continued with the across clues, so let's do that. Get into one's birthday suit. So that means remove one's clothes, right? Disrobe. Not having a great time at the moment. Fruit drinks could be aids, as in lemonade, that sort of thing. Countless, maybe a plenty. That song repeated after k. Okay, pasa, maybe? Is there a song called that? Or a song that contains those words? I don't actually know. Slips could be airs with that E. Holder of merit badges on a scout uniform. I suppose a sash probably does that. Like gasoline nowadays. Unleaded? People in charge, I guess leaders, LDRs. I don't know, that's a very common abbreviation. Song repeated after, oh yeah, I don't think I know this song. But here we have this other dash. So maybe something, what is the thing that's going to, oh, maybe it is unleaded. So if this is unleaded, we have aided. That doesn't, I mean, reading up here, maybe that was just well, not a coincidence, but maybe it was just sort of a particularly impressive bit of construction that this up was arson, and maybe the ash is the only part that matters, but I kind of want it to all work. You know, I want this part to spell something interesting, but maybe that's not feasible. So we have unleash, which is there because it gives us ash, and then we make that turn and we get unleaded. I mean, unleaded is certainly correct, so it must be it. I was trying to think, could I have some of these crosses wrong? But unleaded, I don't see how that could possibly not be true, given that it works here. Yeah, so maybe the upwards bits aren't always their own ash-related word like arson was. Gone but not forgotten. Not sure yet. Rack up as charges. Now this looks like it could be up, but it won't be because up is already in the clue as part of rack up. Legal field concerned with long-term care. Not sure actually about that. In early 2001, one of its executives notoriously said, from an accounting standpoint, this will be our easiest year ever. You'd want this to be Enron, wouldn't you? Because that was the energy company that went bankrupt, I think, in 2001 because of discovery of basically consumer fraud, as I recall. But this looks like much too long of an answer. Are there any, let's see, are there any, well, there are there's a dash here, but that doesn't seem likely because that's the first cell of this answer. Are there any others? No, yeah, I was wondering if maybe Enron would branch off somehow. Televangelist Joel, prima ballerina. Not sure. The E in Genoa, with 97 across, emerge reborn, or what the ends of 5 across answers in this puzzle do. Well, we have ash and ash. So when one is reborn, where did that go again? I lost it. One rises from the ashes to emerge reborn to rise from the ashes, though. That wouldn't fit. Well, rise from the ashes. So let's see. A plenty might be wrong, or rise from the ashes is wrong. Maybe these are wrong. Maybe that's the thing that I have incorrect. So countless, a something of, a slew of, oh, que sera, sera is the song word repeated. Sorry, sera. Yeah, okay, this all makes a little more sense now. It still doesn't get us anything here with this aided, but this chunk of the puzzle is a little more solid now. All right, so rise from the ashes. This is our sort of, this is our big theme answer that ties the whole puzzle together. And so we now see that we're going to have 5 instances of ash serving this branching function. Very clever, Grant Thackeray. Well done. Okay, food packaging reassurance. Use by, maybe, a use by date, perhaps. Present day saint. It's got a question mark, so it's not straightforward. It wouldn't be sort of, I don't know, Mother Teresa or something like that, I don't think, because it's a question mark. There's some sort of pun going on. Present day saint, Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus, the day of presents, Christmas is what that is. Very clever. Food packaging reassurance. I'm not sure about that yet. Good Wheel of Fortune buy for reverse engineer. Well, Wheel of Fortune, I don't know how well known this is outside of the United States, but it's or North America probably, it's a game show on which you buy different letters that go up on a board, and then you have to guess a phrase based on those letters. So in this case, there are quite a few E's in reverse engineer. So I suppose an E would be a good Wheel of Fortune buy for that phrase. Corrects as text would be amends. You could amend text to correct it. What snakes grow as they age? What snakes grow as they age? What do snakes grow as they age? I mean, they molt. They grow their skin several times over, right? Because that molts. Not sure, though. Pot growers remark with a question mark. So it's probably not straightforwardly a comment by someone who grows marijuana. There's some sort of, there's a pun going on here. Maybe it just means ordinary flowers in a pot or something. Okay, let's keep going. where dominoes were invented. China, I'm guessing. A lot of things like that, sort of iconic things like that were invented in China. Rule. I mean, it could be rule as a verb or a noun, each of them in a couple different senses. Super Bowl LV champ. What is that, Super Bowl 55? That doesn't help me at all. I still don't know what it is. Scolded as in a library. Hushed, I suppose. Be quiet, it's a library, hush. Took a swing, say. Punched, I guess? Feels as though this probably could be more things than this, so I'm not very confident. So let's check the crosses. Don't remember what these were. Pot grower's remark. Big name and nail polish. Drive. I don't think it's punched. And I suppose punched isn't really took a swing. Took a swing is tried to punch, and then maybe you may or may not have connected. Drive. Could be drive meaning steer or lead or, I don't know, could be a number of things really. Basketball box score column right, that's probably theme related. Well, probably has that turn. Addiction treatment locale. Oh, this is probably one of our ash clues here, I bet, don't you think? And that means, yes, up here is indeed a dash clue. Dash and ash. I didn't really make that connection. That's funny. Hopefully that was another little intentional bit. So, addiction treatment locale. Rehab center, perhaps? So here we have rehash, but the true answer is rehab center. Oops. And that this spells abcenter. So I think it's fair to say these upward little bits of the theme clues, theme answers, don't necessarily add up to anything, which makes it all the more impressive that arson does. That's actually fascinating. I mean, I suppose I lucked out, or maybe that was, maybe the constructor went out of his way to ensure that the first one of these did in fact have an ash or fire or smoke related word here to sort of put us on the right track, because this spelling arson really was the thing I think that helped me put the theme together, and yet the other clues don't follow that same pattern. Certainly ret nekba going down also doesn't mean anything. Okay, the E in Genoa, oh right, I keep looking at this and keep not knowing what it is. Legal field concerned with long-term care. Do we have a dash off of this one? No, we don't. So this is a straightforward answer. I just don't know what it is. Something law, though, probably. Oh, estate law? No. Long-term care. I don't know. I'm sorry. I probably will be recognizable once we've seen more crosses. Gone but not forgotten. No hassle. I don't think I've looked at that yet. Something less, painless, maybe. Get into one's birthday suit. Word before rock or football. Arena, I suppose, is arena. I don't know the term arena football, but arena rock is, you know, big, loud rock and roll that is often played in a large arena. Oh, incur charges. Sorry about that. Yep. High followers, so still could be high def or high res or something else, but it could be one of those. Get into one's birthday suit. Unzip, maybe? High zen, yeah, I don't know about that. Vacuum tube type, get ready to ride with up. Oh, elder law, perhaps. Law that deals with long-term care of the elderly, perhaps? Oh, saddle. Oh, I'm sorry. Have I been misreading this clue? I think I've maybe either been misreading it or mishearing it in my own mind as get ready to ride, but it's got ready to ride. So saddled up. Yeah. Okay. Get into one's birthday suit is strip, of course. High followers could be high res or, well, it could be high res with a Z or an S, but probably an S because, oh, Olympics projectiles, don't think we've looked at this yet. the discus or plural disci or disci, I suppose, and a vacuum tube type, a triode, I suppose. Is that a counterpart to a diode? I suppose a diode is two of something, and then is there an anode as well? I suppose yes. So anode, diode, triode. Televangelist Joel, oh boy. Oh, wait a second. I think I was looking, oh, this is Enron. I must have been looking in the wrong, I think I was on this clue in early 2001. One of its executives notoriously said, from an accounting standpoint, this will be our easiest year ever. But I think I was looking at a longer across answer, so I didn't think it could be Enron. Sorry, I'm not sure how I managed that bit. Televangelist Joel could be Ortine, Octine, Austine. I'm trying to think what Ontine. Sal, I bet this is Salmonella. I don't know that character, but it sounds like a sort of punny name, Salmonella. And, oh, I see this now. The E in Genoa, so what that means, I see, very clever clue. This means in Italy, where Genoa is located, E, or you'd pronounce it A, means and in Italian. Very clever. And so and is the answer, and that confirms, well, doesn't confirm Sal because it could be Mal Manella or something, but it probably isn't. I suspect it's Sal, and this must be Joel Osteen. So, gone but not forgotten, late something. Food packaging reassurance. No use? I'm not really sure. Politician's concern. Image, I suppose? Oh, a food packaging reassurance. No MSG, I think, is a thing you see on food packaging sometimes. I see. No monosodium glutamate. Well, I think at this point it's been relatively conclusively determined that MSG isn't particularly bad for you. Okay. Let's see, what have we not? There must be some clues we haven't even seen yet because we haven't touched the bottom half of this grid. So, took a swing, say, let's see. Lead off selections. Oh, sorry. Sudden sneeze. Something to file. Sweet pea. Oh, sweet pea could be Hun as a sort of pet name for a partner. Honey, sweet pea, Hun, or a child, whoever. Determination from Santa. Oh, that's a nice. Let's look at that. Right adjacent to it abuts Nicholas, St. Nicholas. Determination from Santa. None? No gifts? No, oh, nice. Sorry. Naughty or nice is what Santa determines. Emmy-winning journalist Finch. I'm not sure, but it looks like it could be Elise or Eliza. Bear. Could be spare, I suppose, or drive. A boring tool. Oh, this looks like it should be very obvious. I mean, it probably ends in an R. Advocate for the better treatment of elves in Harry Potter. I just don't know if this is something that is specific to Harry Potter or not. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know what I should be looking for there. Spots for window boxes, sills, window sills, or sort of window boxes, flower boxes. Verbal cringe, a groan maybe? Website with a seller handbook. Based on the number of letters in that S, I wonder if it's Etsy maybe? I don't know if they have a seller handbook, but it seems plausible. To make haste, this has come up a couple times in the crossword. I would call this, at this point, crosswordese, a short word that disproportionately comes up in the crossword, considerably more than its use in modern day language. High, high and away, kind of thing that's in fairy tales and poems and things. I mean, it might not be high, but even if it's not, that would be a plausible fill, and it's something that comes into crosswords, so it's worth knowing. Verbal cringe. Yeesh, maybe? I don't know. I'm kind of reaching here. Yeesh. Something is cringeworthy. Shrinks. What a button on an armrest may control. Button on an armrest. Well, it could be on an airplane seat. It could be, oh, seat angle. Right, could control your angle of recline. That looks bad here. Oh no, it doesn't look bad because this is a dash clue. So in fact, this is going to be something backwards, in which case GHT is a perfectly plausible ending for a word. So it could be either of these two clues, presumably. Shrinks, but probably not, because that shrinks, we would expect there to also be an S on the end here. So perhaps it's this. Oh, and of course, because this is ash. So, to be completely candid, based on the ending of this, I suspect it's shoot straight? No. But something straight. All right, let's see. To be completely candid. Tell straight? That doesn't sound right at all. I don't know. I'm sorry if that's very, very apparent to you. Doctor's orders, maybe. Best blank. Best attire, best actor. Shaving brand. Norelco, I think. I haven't heard that brand name in years and years and years, but I have a vague memory of it existing. Scattered, could be sewed, maybe. Take a blank, take a bow. With 124 down, feature of Van Gogh. See 126 down. One ear, I assume. He cut off his own ear famously. Painter. Get hitched to. If you get hitched to someone, you wed them. Tea go with scone, or scone, as it is pronounced in some parts of the UK. At there's great contention around the scone versus scone debate here. Within arm's reach, something elbow. Best, oh, actress. Should have guessed that after I said actor. Half of psi. This is a number. Tray? Yeah, say looks like 6. Tray would be 3, looks right. Doctor's orders, maybe. Taste? What is that? Shrinks, shrinks, recoils. Tests? Oh, I see. Sorry. Fell into a classic trap of assuming this should be read one particular way, but it should have been read an entirely different way. I read this as doctor's orders, meaning orders the doctor would say aloud to you, but in fact, this refers to something the doctor is ordering. The doctor might order tests. All right, within arm's reach, at one's elbow? Is that a phrase that anyone says? Former Second Lady Cheney, this was the wife of the Vice President Dick Cheney, Lynn Cheney. Loud as a stadium. Well, a stadium could be a roar. It could be a roar with fans yelling, "Ole, ole," which I think came up in a puzzle recently. All right, where the Volta River flows. Not sure offhand. More teed off, so more angry. Why isn't this extremely obvious? Huh. What am I not seeing there? That's strange. Rides. Oh, more teed off is sorer, more sore, more upset about something. So what was this again? Rides. So it could be rides, a verb, but it could also be rides, a noun, a sort of colloquial way of describing a car or something. So this could be a car. Would that work here? It may be taken in by a traveler. May be taken in by a traveler. Story? Not sure. Be completely candid. Oh, talk straight. Why didn't I get that? Why didn't I land on that one? Seems pretty straightforward. Bear. Oh, bear could be Stark. I said spare, which is very similar in meaning to Stark, so I probably should have gotten that, but I didn't. Red-handed, say. Red-handed, mid-act, caught in the act, caught red-handed, caught mid-act. Far from friendly. Icy, perhaps. If one is icy, one is far from friendly. Brand that stylizes its name with a lowercase second letter. Not sure. Advocate for the better treatment of elves. Oh, this is gonna, this clue is gonna haunt me for the rest of the puzzle, isn't it? Wait a second. I'm sorry, this is probably obvious to many of you. This is an advocate for the better treatment of elves in Harry Potter. Not to advocate for. Sorry, once again, read something the wrong way. So, despite knowing basically nothing about Harry Potter, I'm not so out of touch that I've not heard of the character Hermione. Surely she, I guess, is an advocate for the better treatment of elves in Harry Potter. There we go. All right, that was a big help. So here we have Blank Pal, early episode of the Jetsons. That is an obscure clue. Presumably it'll be something that's pretty guessable once we have a few crosses. Could it be Robots Pal? That would make this wrong. Not sure, let's leave it alone for now. Lead into scope, oh, it could be a stethoscope, which pairs well with the doctor's orders of tests because doctors are common wearers of stethoscopes. Let's see, what was this again? It may be taken in by a traveler. Yeah, I'm still not sure offhand. Boring tool, right? Okay, let's keep marching through the clues because we haven't seen them all yet. Oh, although this Emmy-winning journalist Finch sure looks like Elise now, doesn't it? Anyway, let's keep going. How blank? Boy, that seems like it could be a lot of things. Encrypted URL component. So this is probably HTTPS, which is the prefix to a URL, a uniform resource locator, I think, or in other words, a web address that indicates that the site is encrypted. I think the HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Then the appended S means secure. All right, big tournament news. Upset, I suppose. It would be big news for there to be an upset at the tournament. A boring tool. A Luger? Oh, an auger, of course. I'm sorry. An auger, a boring tool, an auger, yes. Lead into of mind or of war. A state of mind or a state of war. Serenade, sing to, is the most straightforward interpretation of serenade. The St. Lawrence River's misnamed blank island. Thousand Island? That sounds like a name islands would have and also that it would be inaccurate. All right. Fatigued over time. Aged, something around aging. Oh, here we go. Here's another dash clue. So this will read properly when read vertically branched off of this. Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, or Ravenclaw. Again, I think you don't need very much Harry Potter awareness to know this is Harry Potter related. And so nice little compliment to our Hermione clue. Some sort of house, right? I wonder, yeah, I don't know. What sort of house is it? Wizard's house? Houses where wizards live? How many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It does have an S, so it might be a possessive. Okay, I'm not gonna keep wasting my time on that for now. I'm sure it'll be obvious with crosses. Fatigued over time does look like it could be age something. Sets aside. Popped in for just a moment, perhaps. Said hi. What was this? C50 across, rise from the ashes. Oh, yeah, sorry. Why did I think said hi didn't fit there? I had a strange moment of misperception. The IKEA logo shares the colors of its flag. Sweden, of course, the home of IKEA. Or IKEA? How's it pronounced in Swedish? Yeah, I forget how it's actually pronounced. In Swedish, sorry. Give wrong information, lie to somebody. Something to file, a lawsuit. You could file a lawsuit. A basketball box score column. Assists, I suppose. And that makes Asti indeed the sparkling wine variety. So that was a good guess on that one earlier on. Fatigued over time. Right. Okay. Let's keep looking. 1980 event in Washington. Could be something shun. Election. Oh, eruption, perhaps. Maybe this doesn't mean Washington, D.C., capital of the United States, but rather Washington State. Could be a volcanic eruption. I bet that's the case. Small lab bottle is a pipette. I always thought this was, I remember always finding it sort of disconcerting that this was spelled this way rather than with an extra TE at the end, which is, often we adopted the sort of feminine French suffix for that sort of thing in English. We blank please. Maybe it's not pipette. We aim to please. Oh, probably a file. There we go. I think pipette is also, though. I think it actually weirdly could work there. Maybe pipette is spelled with a TE, but my memory is that it isn't. Anyway, we aim to please. Going by. Named. Those opposite the center and guards in NFL lingo. I'm guessing it's DL-ers. This is a thing that happens in the crossword very often, is you'll get a short initialism and then ers. I think it happens in a crossword more often than it happens in spoken language. I mean, as we all know from watching this series, I know very little about sports, and I particularly, I would say, especially know fairly little about the NFL. But my guess is that people don't say DLers a lot of the time. I'm guessing they say whatever this stands for, which I assume is defensive linemen or something like that. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Let me know if I am. Let me get this out. Not sure what that is. Blank pal, maybe taken in by a traveler. Not a great little area of the puzzle for me. Set of rules popularized by How I Met Your Mother. Okay, another thing I've never seen. Again, I don't know if it's generic or if it's something specific to that program. It says popularized rather than coined. I don't know if that means anything. Rides. Oh, well, the Volta River flows could be Ghana, right? Does that help this at all? Rides? It's clearly not cars. Could it, oh, it probably rides like to sort of ride somebody, to really bother them, to nag them, perhaps. It may be taken in by a traveler. Oh, scenery, you take in the scenery. Well, a set of rule could be a code, so maybe DLers is wrong after all of that. I don't know. What was this? I never looked at this. Millennium start. Oh yeah, I guess this must be wrong. Okay, I was wrong. It's not DLers. But the thing I said is true. That does happen in the crossword a lot. So even though I was completely incorrect in this instance, that is something to look out for. Short initialism followed by ers when it's people, when it's being referred to as people who correspond to that acronym. So anyway, Millennium Start would be MMI, presumably, for 2001. So this would be, I guess, the D line, defensive line. And then, what is this? Let me get this out. Could be listen, like I gotta get this out. Listen to me. And set of rules popularized by How I Met Your Mother. I don't know. I guess bro code seems pretty plausible. Brand that stylizes its name with a lowercase second letter. Bic pens, I guess, and then Elroy's pal. That's a character from the Jetsons, I guess. Elroy's pal. All right, there we go. Cleaned up that little corner over there. Oh, what is this? Sets aside, allots, as in you allot. You set aside something for someone you allotted. And then how odd fits perfectly well. Okay, what was this again? Oh, this was the house, right? I'll come back to that. Fatigued over time. It often has its kinks. An afro, maybe? Treat thought to be stamped with symbols of the Knights Templar. What on earth? Something commonly left in an operating room. Pull down could be earn, as in pull down salary. Oh, fatigued over time, age worn, worn down by age over time. Sight from a Seattle ferry. Sight from a Seattle ferry. There's a Ferris wheel. I know I lived in Seattle for a bit. There's a Ferris wheel that you can see from a ferry. Bike ride setting. A gear, different gears on a bicycle. Something commonly left in an operating room. I wonder if this could somehow cleverly mean something to the left. Could that possibly be the case? Treat thought to be stamped with symbols of the Knights Templar. Oreo? Do Oreos have, what on earth? Never heard that one before. But Oreo comes up in the crossword all the time, so it may well be that. Often has its kinks. A hose, I guess? Can sort of get a kink in a hose. Sight from a Seattle ferry. Hogwash. This looks like hogwash. Oh, this is the house thing. Oh, right. Okay. Hogwarts house. That makes sense. Sight from a Seattle ferry. Oh, an orca, I suppose. Yeah, that makes sense. The animal. And then something commonly left in an operating room is a scar. You often leave a scar. All right, there we go. That all works. Volkswagen model initials. GTI, maybe, I think, is a Volkswagen model. Let's keep looking around here. Took a swing, say. Rule. Just occurred to me. Do we have all of our ashes? We need 5, I remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do. So there won't be any more ashes over here. Gone but not forgotten. Late. I wonder what it means that it's all dashes like that. That means this whole thing is basically one compound word, one combined adjective. Big name and nail polish. Estee? Like Estee Lauder, perhaps? Not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Drive. Drive. Rule as in sort of like be the person in charge. I don't really think so. Took a swing, say lead off selections with a question mark. Entries? Lead off selections. Took a swing, say. Took a swing. Took a stab at something. Tried something. Guessed at something. Took a swing at. Actually, that works even with the at. Took a swing at, guessed at. Drive. Oh, urge. You have a drive to do something. You have an urge to do it. Volkswagen model initials. So this could be, what did I say, GTI? I think that's a Volkswagen brand or model name. Lead off selections. Gone but not forgotten. Oh, late great. The late great whoever. The gone but not forgotten whoever. Big name and nail polish. Maybe it is Estee. Maybe it's not GTI. Maybe it's GTE is the Volkswagen model. Not sure. What snakes grow as they age. I keep wanting to think this is know something, as in they don't grow something, but I don't know, that seems sort of silly. Rule. Maybe it's not lead off, maybe it's lead off, like pencil lead. Erasers, lead off selections. I don't know, selections is sort of odd, but that could, it is punny, because it's got that question mark. What is this again? Big name and, big name and nail polish. That would make this not Estee. Oh my goodness. Pot grower's remark. Oh, this is very clever. This means a pot in a poker game or something. Someone who's going to grow the pot. They say, I raise the bet, and then they put in. So a prima ballerina, maybe this is étoile, star in French, and that would make Correx's text immense, which does seem plausible as well. So then what snakes grow as they age? They grow longer. Very clever. So to rule is to reign. I don't know why that wasn't one of the first things I guessed. That really makes erasers seem correct to me. And I think the Volkswagen is GTI, so this could be Essie, which isn't a name I know with respect to nail polish. This would be tough if you didn't know this or the Volkswagen model. That's pretty difficult. I do think that this crossover here is Eve, a Gangster Lover rapper, and Olive, the plant family. So let's try that, and let's try GTI. Come on. Yes. All right, boy, that was an epic, a solve of epic length, 51 minutes. Oof, thank you for sticking with me. If you're still watching this video. True Sunday puzzle, that's for sure. Nothing, I mean, there weren't any huge chunks of big difficulty, but there were definitely, I did have to sort of go out on a limb twice there at the end. Just a long puzzle with a whole range of difficulty, which I think is generally par for the course. I think for a Sunday puzzle, it's so big you're just going to get that, and well-constructed theme. Wouldn't it have been absolutely incredible if all of these could have featured a smoke-related word in the upward turned portion? But I very much suspect that's too much to ask. It may be the case that Grant Thackeray attempted to do that and did manage to pull it off once, but that is a very tall order. Nonetheless, this is very well constructed, and is often, as is pretty much always the case with this kind of puzzle, as with the theme we saw on Thursday, for instance, the word that isn't the clue's answer, in this case, the clue's answer being unleaded, but the fill here, unleash, is still a completely standard, plausible English word, even though it's not the one that matches the clue. So a well-constructed theme, a really great lead into the theme with that arson, sort of points you in the right direction, even though it's not technically one of the rules of the theme. And some tough bits of cultural knowledge that I found challenging, like that Elroy's and Hermione, although this was as much because of my single-minded read of the clue as it was for any other reason. And then, bit of Austin. Struggled with that. Quite a few names, I suppose. Ricardo, names all over the place in this fill, actually. Anyway, let me know how you fared with this Sunday arson-themed puzzle. A bit of a challenge, I would say, but so it goes with a Sunday puzzle sometimes. If you enjoyed it, why not subscribe to the channel so you see these solves as they go up each morning? And if you think someone else might enjoy it, maybe they need some help getting through this extraordinarily long Sunday puzzle, pass this along. They might like it. You never know. And finally, if you are particularly enjoying this series, why not toss me a couple of quid or a few bucks via my Ko-fi page, where I accept donations in an amount of your choosing on a one-off or monthly recurring basis. And thank you so much to everybody who has done that, particularly those of you who have chosen that monthly recurring option, because that does help me to get a sense of what this whole thing is adding up to, and helps me project forward a bit. So thank you so much. And with that, I will let you go. I've been here for, it's probably been an hour at this point. It has. We hit a whole hour on this video. So I hope you have some time left in your Sunday after all of this, and I hope it's a good Sunday. And I do also hope to see you again tomorrow for the Monday puzzle, the much faster, much simpler Monday puzzle. With that, see you soon. Take care.